summit something a little stronger for the 1v1 into TFBlade, which might be tough because TFBlade is very happy to play Scion as well and just kind of soak it up for the rest of his team. But this game, no, he's playing Renekton.
Yeah, he says Renekton. They hovered it last game. They lock it in this time around. So going to go with a very lane dominant, but very team fight dominant as well, carry. We'll see what the double answer is going to be. Estrol get a 1-2 punch here for themselves. Want to see some solo lane priority potentially, as well as the jungle being locked in here for SolidSnake.
Yeah, you got to imagine probably going to be Orianna for Cody as well. I think that's just going to give you a really good wombo combo. It just sets up the shockwave so nicely.
Yeah.
I think
and that's what Estrol banning that game number 1 instead of
Rumble. Because on blue side, they wanted to make sure they could have won 2. So yeah, I think that's kind of what they want to be going for here. Just something where you can get a really consistent damage, consistent team fight wins off of that. Because last game, that was tough.
See what they do end up going with here. I do like that they give SolidSnake some skirmish potential in the jungle, some setup potential for the team. The Kaisa is also going to be locked in the hands of the right person. This pick can absolutely be 1v9 if you get ahead, and we'll see Ghost pilot that one this time around.
Yeah, it will be interesting. I think probably going to end up being better for them to save Winsome's pick a little later. I think the support matchup is going to end up being really important. Conviction could go the route of something really aggressive in lane, and if you put the Kaisa behind, then you don't get to 1v9. I think that's why we're seeing Tristana.
Yeah, and I see the Tristana as just kind of a win more situation for Conviction. It is also something that Cody Sun loves so much. Back whenever he was consistently playing, gives you those resets, gives you something to play off of. This is something else that Perry loves. It's his volley bear, something he's been very outbound about, saying that he loves this champion and finds a way to make it work.
Yeah, I mean, you have a lot of early game potential. You farm pretty decently quick, and of course the dive potential with that Stormbreaker cannot be understated. Shutting off turrets as a rare ability indeed. You got to imagine that Perry is going to put that to good use.
Yeah, you got to think. Now, the answer has to come through. I mean, into the Jarvan, I think some of that skirmish potential is really important. The Scion gets locked in as just a wall for this top lane for Summit to give at least some front line to play off of for Estrol.
Yeah, very needed. And, you know, another way to go forward as well is you have a comp with the Jarvan where you're going to be flying in. Scion can fly in, and of course, Kaisa can join the party too with that killer instinct. You got to imagine it's just picking champions where it's like, let's all just run forward at full speed.
Yep, and you know, that's a safe bet in a lot of situations. As long as you're together, you run forward all you want. The Nico ban is going to come through yet again from Estrol, something they banned in the second phase of that game number 1 as well.
Yeah, makes sense. You want just overall really strong support even in this current patch, so they just want to make sure it doesn't ruin their ability to team fight, especially with this comp wanting to full sprint to 6 into the enemy team. I think Nico would ruin that. So now probably want to remove another support option there for Stunt. Could target Viper in the mid lane, but I'm wondering if they're not too concerned after what happened in game 1.
Honestly, I would say they're probably not too concerned with the way that they were playing, with the confidence it seemed like coming out of their camp, but they should be concerned because this Estrol team is no slouch. Again, they were built to make this run, and they are here nonetheless. We do see the Alistar ban in that second phase from Conviction, just whittling down some of that engaged champ pool, some things that Winsome really loves. And the Lulu is going to be the ban towards Stunt. That's a throwback.
Yeah, I mean, you just want to remove, or you want to lessen the abilities for Cody Sun to have a big carry performance. I think Lulu would end up being a pretty nice addition to that bot lane duo. So it makes sense. I think we're early enough that we want to be banning more supports. What's on your mind, Lennon?
Can we talk about how Stunt's got the like aura cam going? He's got like the angle. Everybody else has got like the straight. Viper's got like the nose cam going on, but we got Stunt with like this cool cinematic angle on him.
Yeah, the Thor 1 angle, as I like to call it. For anyone who remembers, every other scene was angled like that. And looking back, that is very interesting. It's very interesting.
Let's see if it matters.
Yes.
But the rel is going to be locked in here for Winsome.
Oh, you know? No, actually, yeah. It doesn't work. I had a Thor joke. It's fine. We're gonna let it go.
Okay.
Rel.
Keep it going.
I mean, makes sense. Again, you're just going with this identity of all in, leaving Cody the potential to have that last pick to really just kind of leaning into that matchup again, kind of like they did into game 1. Again, the Galio response then. Now, they'll probably have something for whatever Viper picks.
For whatever he picks, the Taric comes
Ooh.
through. So the all-in potential, this tower dive potential is definitely there for Conviction.
Yeah, and of course, there's that kind of response too when you're getting dived on. As long as you can survive the channel of that ultimate, that invulnerability for a couple of seconds is really going to be make or break.
I just love how much interaction with the turrets they're going to have with Perryy leading the charge if they do end up getting that going for him. The Gwen is going to be locked in. This was a permaban towards Conviction for a lot of the season, and we could have some flexibility between Viper and TFBlade.
I'm really interested in who is going to run what, because sometimes, not common, but you can run Renekton in that mid lane when you're playing into mages, just because you just get out-traded, like, insanely. It's actually quite disturbing. I kind of like the Cassio angle just because you can at least somewhat buy yourself space with that miasma. But overall, if you don't use that ability very carefully, if it ends up being that Renekton mid, you're just going to get dog walked. And that gives Viper an opportunity, if he's rocking that one, to be able to get a big advantage and do a little better than in game 1.
Yeah, we'll see what they end up going forward with. It seems as of right now, Viper will be in that mid lane on the Renekton.
Yeah.
Could also be, you know, some swapperoonies there. But right now, I got to focus on Cody because he had a heck of a game, number one, on Galio. But he was on Galio. Now he's got to carry. Do we feel better about this?
Maybe. Really depends on the early lane. Like, if, yeah, he's probably very well versed on the champion. But, you know, you don't lane into Renekton very often. So it's just about whether or not he's going to be able to understand those trade patterns and those trade windows to not fall too far behind, to not lose so much of his health and lose that teleport earlier, or, you know, God forbid, be solo killed in those first 3 levels. And that's really what
ages with, and take that tempo, take that torch from Perry.
And of course, you have a lot of setup there with the Cataclysm to be able to set up a lot of plays for your team. And we'll say there's a good amount of movement on Conviction's side. So as long as they're smart with their movement abilities, pretty much everyone save Stunt to be able to escape from that terrain. But if SolidSnake is smart about it, wait till those abilities are used and you jump right on him.
All right, well, into game number 2 to see if Conviction will take a step forward to match point in this best of 5, or if Estrol can even things up and get us closer to the end-all be-all goal of 5 games.
Yes.
Blue side difference. Yeah, yes, we're all here for that. Blue side difference, though, this time around for Conviction, so we'll see if that changes any decision-making priority from the 2. But we look at both junglers heading down towards this bot side, and I just want to harp on these junglers a little bit more. I think Perry has been a known quantity, maybe not known in terms of the ceilings that he can reach, but at least around the league, the players love him. They love to watch him. He's also had a lot of success on the orgs that he's been on. You already mentioned it earlier on the day. Yep. And SolidSnake on the other side, you know, coming over from coaching as well on that Isurus team and coming back in to be this front runner, this leader for Estrol.
That's right. And Perry, or rather SolidSnake, excuse me, has a lot of opportunity to be able to set that one up for his team. We have it again, that unique lane swap situation we saw in game 1. Gonna give Ghost yet another opportunity. I know. To be able to, you know, get some more farm. And we emphasized how important it was for this Kai'Sa to be able to get ahead. So I think the setup, it makes sense for them to do it again.
And we'll just try to keep advantage for Ghost as much as possible. He is on the Uzi skin, by the way, I believe. Or no, wait, no, that's the Chroma, the IG Chroma skin, I think. Anyways, I'm just all about Ghost skin game, you know, especially.
Dude,
see if he gets the gem somewhere in here.
Maybe he will. Game 3. Oh, yeah. Look at mid lane. This is what I was talking about.
No, the animals attack, and you're not going to Narnia. You're going to the grave. Cody is down for first blood to Conviction.
Yeah, I mean, good. He's just smart from Perry, recognizing that, you know, level 3 is that danger. When he first hits level 3, that's the danger moment there for Cody. And unfortunately, he didn't respect it. Got taken out pretty easily, and that's an early teleport gone, just as we feared.
We got to take a look back at this one. When Crocs and Bears come at the Snake, you never know what can happen. And this is just great CC chaining from the Conviction duo.
And honestly, just really nice tracking of his own experience from Viper. They recognize that Call of the Meek will kill the minion as well as put damage onto Cody, giving him that level up to get the stun. So overall, just really nicely done from Conviction. Perryy gonna get that first gank off, and SolidSnake got his first clear, but still looking for his first actual play.
Although the first blood for Conviction might signal a little bit of that momentum from game number 1 coming into game number 2. Still a lot to be decided in the earlier parts of this game, and especially now that Winsome is looking to get back on the map. I think one of the biggest things when Winsome was in the NACL was he was one of the most dominant supports at roaming, as connecting with the team and being kind of a shot caller for a lot of the teams we saw him here. That's what made him so strong on that FlyQuest roster. It's some of the strength that we had seen on Fear as well. And he's looking to get involved early in this game number 2 too.
That's right. He's going to make it so Viper has to trade a little more conservatively. But now, I think if Stunt gives the passive onto Viper, yeah, could just be a play. Especially with no W, I think he can flash for it.
Winsome definitely needs a little bit of XP here, though. He will be trying to pick up a couple. Get to that level 3 mark would be nice. He is down a couple levels on Stunt, who had stayed longer in that bot side. You got to remember, Winsome has been on the roam for a lot of this early game, trying to find out where he wants to stick. And we do have our bot laners back down in bot side, with junglers pathing this way once again, and the dragon spawning here. So a lot to do on the bot side of the map.
Yeah, a lot to do, but more for Conviction. The fact that Viper is getting close to that level 6, that dominance, no matter what lane he's in, is such a big spike for the Renekton. So given that he has been able to get a buy as well with those Merc Treads, it's going to make him a little better in these fights.
Okay, they're going to get the lockdown here. The reset coming in from Cody Sun, as he does get the double rocket jump. Trying to get the CC was Perryy, but he can't find the connection on the Ghost, so decides to use it on the Winsome. A couple summoner spells burn from the bot lane of Estrol.
And crucially, the Ghost Splash has been burned. So already it's applying a lot of pressure after chunking a lot of his health. Could give you a moment to really start heading towards that dragon. But actually, I think we're seeing Perryy move towards mid again.
Yeah, he is. I mean, if they can get this duel ahead, I feel like they're going to be so strong. Summit going with the unstoppable onslaught into TFBlade, who has not hit level 6 yet. He's waiting for the minions to die. He's very close, about halfway through, so needs to get through this entire wave there that he has stacked up. But it will be Summit using a lot and not getting TFBlade out of the lane.
I mean, yeah, Summit has double cloth armor, so really he has 0 stats when it comes to Gwen. I guess before she gets any real AP. That's another canceled auto. It wouldn't have killed.
No. He's almost level 6. He's really wanting that level 6 to make that all in happen. Unfortunately, Summit does have TP advantage over TFBlade, so he'll get the back. He'll walk back. We'll see if Summit wants to use his TP to get there, and he will.
Ooh, bit of a skirmish. Kind of all over the place. No one went for that dragon. Perryy used the timer, put some more pressure onto Cody in the mid lane. Means now he has to go back and farm some of his camp. But I think you're not really pressed for Dragon Soul or worried about any early Drake stacking for Estrol just because of how strong your bot lane has been performing. I think it makes sense that Perryy can just kind of put his focus elsewhere, especially now that he's hit level 6 and has that ultimate.
You know, Perry's got to be feeling good on one of his signatures that he doesn't necessarily get to bring out as often as maybe he would like to.
Right.
But in a do or die series, it's time to pull out everything you've been working on. You got to remember, this is it for one of these teams. Their entire year, all that goal of getting to the LTA, now LCS next year, is on the line.
That's right. Now Viper getting some pressure in the mid lane. I like this lane swap because it should be a little easier for Cody to lane into this Cassio, or rather into the Gwen. Otherwise, I still think TFBlade shouldn't have too difficult of a time.
Let's take stock of some things here, though, because we do have the grubs coming up, and Stunt isn't level 6 yet. He's very close. The Cosmic Radiance just feels so OP against this comp right now. We are going to see everything used by Conviction in this mid lane scuffle ahead of the grubs, trying to get Summit down. They will get his zombie form, so that's the front line. That wall that I set up from draft is not going to be there for this fight.
Yeah, and that's it. He's out of the picture. It's going to be really easy to collect these grubs. There's a chance for SolidSnake to be able to steal one away, but otherwise, I don't really see an angle. Dominus is still there for Viper.
SolidSnake wants to get in there and get something going. Winsome's going to crash down into the pit, and that's Feats of Warfare completed by Conviction. All 3 of the kills going to Viper on
Ghost.
his resignation here in this fight. He's going to back out, and unfortunately, that just means that Estrol turned the fight with Ghost coming over with the Killer Instinct. He's not even going to get a kill back, and the 2-2 train comes to town. Summit finally shows up, and that's going to be all 3 grubs going to Estrol. That's crazy.
Yeah, big fight win, and all 3 grubs being secured is huge. Even now, Perryy is in a little bit of trouble and forced away from his jungle too. So it's a big win for Estrol in this early game.
That's actually insane. It felt like such a
mental.
solid fight from Conviction. They fall apart there. Teeing off that initial pickup, and Estrol with the joining of Ghost make the difference. And we got 2 mid laners and a 3-1.
Yeah, I really hope we watch the replay of that one, because this is going to be a big turning point here. Cody has gotten 3 kills off of this, and really the difference maker. This starts off so well. The CC chain was really nicely executed, but watch Ghost. He turns this entire thing around. Had he not joined, or if he didn't join so fast that Cody Sun would be irrelevant, this would have still been a very conviction-heavy fight. But instead, triple kill for Cassiopeia. Cody is going to be really strong.
All right, Cody's going to have to make that strength matter here. He's got the flash, he's got the plays. Can he get away? The Alcove Gaming claims one, and it claims all. He will fall to Cody Sun on the other side. A little bit of Twinergy there, as we do see Conviction make a side lane play.
Yeah, good response. Really need to get Cody off of the map, because already, for the last at least 30 seconds, he already had that Rod of Ages built up. Very different from Viper in that last game. So that's going to be fully stacked very quickly, very soon, and he is still going to be a big problem. So that kind of pressure Conviction put onto Ghost into game 1, going to need to see more of that energy onto Cody. They want to win this game.
They definitely do. And really, we have the stories of who does better with a 3-1 start. Unfortunately, Cody does falter right at the get out, but still, this Cassiopeia will be extremely scary. And I love to see Cody getting a little bit more carry resources here instead of the Galio play. And speaking of carry resources, maybe trying to give Ghost a little bit more. He hasn't been able to get a kill for himself just yet, but the mid lane will resume with a 2v2 here. Meanwhile, we see SolidSnake potentially going for a top lane play.
Yeah, TFBlade has flash, but he is in too deep. I think he's in a lot of trouble.
He's in a lot of trouble. He's going to pop the needlework, try to get some healing back from it here. Try to work his way through, try to dodge away from the flag and drag. Going to use the final needlework. Can't get away from the double CC chain.
Nice.
And the decimating smash claims his life. TFBlade is down.
Nicely done. Oh, and a response.
Oh, they got a play out of Cody using the petrifying gauge, but he is stunned in place and taken down. Viper gets himself a 4th kill, and this is the redemption game for Viper so far.
Oh,
Cody Sun is going to get out with the rocket jump. The Killer Instinct coming out from Ghost. He stopped for a second. The Cataclysm comes down, and SolidSnake smacks it.
Yeah, really nice. I was going to say a pretty solid trade from Conviction, but Estrol get yet another kill, forcing Cody to not only jump away, but to still die in the process. So that's more plate gold that Estrol are able to obtain, and that's more of a lead for Ghost, who is on this late game hyper carry in the Kaisa.
That's going to be super important as we move forward, but right now it's all about that proactivity from these 2 junglers, and specifically SolidSnake at 100% KP now on the J4. I felt like the Wukong, he definitely was a comfort pick there for him, but also a steal away from Perryy. But the J4 is really coming alive for him. Talking about that tempo that we've been seeing both the junglers try to play for. We take a look back at that top lane.
Not much to say, really. This is the play, actually, that is worth talking about. A few seconds later, SolidSnake makes his way back to that mid lane, is able to help finish off with that Cataclysm. Really makes that 2-pronged play, allow Estrol to get a bigger lead, but it does open up Conviction to be able to secure another dragon.
And this is a big change. We talked about it in the early parts that this dragon focus was not something Conviction really got a lot of in their split. And here they are already getting a couple for themselves across 2 games now.
Yeah.
Really shifting that focus to be more objective centered.
Right. And I like it from Estrol. Being really active this game. Oh.
He's got the needlework. He's only going to hit a couple of them on the summit, and he just goes down to Ghost, who gets his first kill of the game.
And that's 3 grubs, so it's going to be a very easy first brick. Another nice play from Estrol and more gold, shooting them up to 1.5K. Perry's going to do his best to take away camps, but I don't think there's another dive angle quite yet onto Cody. Perryy doesn't have his ult. Winsome knows the play is here too, so he's hanging around. It's just waiting.
2-2 train in the mid lane. The Summit Express. Going to do a decent chunk, get some grass stacks onto that one, but you got to start thinking about these feats of strength as well. Only one thing deciding this, and that's going to be the neutral objectives. We already have the 2 for Conviction. We have the 1 at least for Estrol. See if they can kind of catch up in that regard, as we do not see that coming up for another minute or so. The resets could come through, and that's where we talk about some item completions here, as both teams going to be on that fully completed first item.
That's right. Seeing them come through across the board, so everybody has about what they could hope for going into that Rift Herald fight in about 30 seconds. We'll see
except for Stunt.
Yeah, except for Stunt. I know. Poor guy. Maybe soon, though. He prioritized the tier 2
soon
boots.
TM.
I kind of see where he's going for.
Now especially soon TM with the pause.
I feel like it's the opposite of soon TM, no? It's like later
But
TM.
that's the thing. I don't know. The whole thing about soon TM was, it was, you know, Blizzard never put out any content. It took forever.
Oh, true, actually. Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Yeah, throwbacks there.
Literally.
Speaking of. But we are just paused, hopefully getting through this here pretty quickly. Since the teams are playing remote, I'm sure it's just a little bit of technical difficulties, but we'll be getting back to it sooner rather than later. And that's where we can talk a little bit about not only the stakes, at least, of this series, of this as a whole, but the stories kind of coming into it, because a big out of left field change for Conviction, if we're just going to be outright. Viper in the mid lane, Cody Sun on the bot side, coming in as their sub, and having that game number 1 to kind of put the pedal to the metal for Conviction, while Estrol, they had faltered at the end of their split. Had faltered coming into this tournament. A super team that was built for one and one thing only, and that is to claim that tier 1 spot.
Yep.
And they need to find a little bit of promise here in this series. So far, they have a lead in game 2.
Yeah, much needed lead 2. To lose this and go down 0-2, you got to imagine the pressure will end up being too much after everything that's happened to them in the playoffs in the LRN. So the hope for them is to be able to take this lead onto a win. Right now, Conviction starting off the Rift Herald, but there is a teleport coming through, so Estrol wants to respond.
You feel like they can. And 5-man strong with Cody and Ghost as the damage dealer is going to feel really good in any team fight as long as they're allowed to free hit. So that will be another top side objective going freely to Estrol. And that will even them up there in the objective case here. So they'll try to use it to probably get this mid-lane outer tower down ahead of that next dragon coming through.
Yes, that's the crucial part. You really want to make sure, especially something like Ocean Soul, Soul Point, go over to Conviction. So I will say Cody TP'd away from the lane where Viper was pushing. Means he is going to be able to get a turret and allow Perryy to do this.
It's a bear in the woods. You gotta run, even if you're a zombie. I don't know if that is like rock, paper, scissors or what. But, top lane was the play with the Rift Herald. And they won't go for that outer turret in the mid lane. They'll just go for that extra whopping amount of gold in the bot side, or in the top side rather. And almost actually got an outer turret in mid lane, but paid a lot of their health price for it. Still about a minute and a half till that dragon though, so they'll have plenty of time.
Yeah, so Estrol are prioritizing that payout, maybe trying to see if they can quickly hit those second items ahead of the dragon. There's still about a minute 30 seconds left. If they're able to do so, Cody, he did finish the Archangel Staff, so that is a pretty big deal, even with the Roa not being fully stacked. So I think that was what they were prioritizing going forward. It is a big power spike for the Cassiopeia. Cody's been pretty big on it this game, despite the focus Conviction have put on him. So they're just setting him up to ensure he can have the most impact in such a crucial fight.
And he gets even scarier as time goes on. The snake continues to grow. Still stacking up the Roa on top of it all, but really we've seen in the last couple fights Cody has been kind of left to free fire, and those twin fangs, they do start hurting. See both teams rallying around this bot side of the map. We'll see who comes to that early blow here, if they're going to try to get this outer turret to sneak it away ahead of it as well. Cody Sun going to stick around here though. Gotta say, Cody Sun I don't think comes back in a little while as well, so missing a couple of those components, and that turret's going to finally go down.
Wow, stopping that back is pretty huge.
stopping the back, stopping everything. As they do get the double jump out, and they get his health bar down to smidgen. And now in the mid lane, gonna get the crash down from Perryy, get the extra health, but he still gets taken down by SolidSnake. He's got range, baby. It's not just sneaking around in your video games, and they're going right back to the dragon.
That's right, and they got themselves their first dragon. They slowed down the Drake stacking, and now Estrol, they've gotten everything they've wanted this game. They got gold onto their carries. They've slowed down the objective stacking of Conviction, and now our NACL reps are in trouble.
Oh man, TFBlade getting caught. He's going to dash out really nicely out of the decimating smash. Still trying to find his way out. He's going to flash after using the needlework. The rest of the team was coming over as well. But that'll be a stop to the dragon stacking. That will also be feats of strength going to Estrol.
That's right. Those boots are going to be a little stronger, and you have the opportunity to buy tier 3 boots as well. You're seeing this replay again, and it's just keeping Cody Sun from backing so often was huge. And of course, being able to kill Perryy just makes it that much easier to secure their first dragon.
Doesn't need the flag, just needs the drag. Got him in the end. As that's a really big play from SolidSnake, who started falling to prey, at least, of Perryy in that game number 1. Feels a lot more confident in this game number 2. 100% KP, and we're definitely getting some redemption gameplay coming through from Estrol. As Cody Sun going to try to dash away, get the rocket jump, but Ghost follows him after and just autos him to death.
Wow, honestly, I respect. Oh, hold on.
Oh, Perryy.
Oh, he's dead.
Perryy, he's getting bled down. He's getting poisoned. Gets the heal back out. Trying to go for the shield. Trying to go for the outplay. Gets the heal back.
What is this champion?
Jaws and Viper going for the play himself, but he dies in the end. Perryy dies to the poison, and Viper will get nothing. A double kill to Cody.
Oh, yeah, we have reached critical mass on the snake here, Mazel, despite whatever nonsense that is the champion known as Volibear. Cody's still able to get those kills in the end, and his ROA just ticked over to 10. So now the Doomsday Clock has run out, and Ghost is also cashing in big time.
Absolutely. Didn't even need the kills, but still sitting pretty. As Perryy survived for so long, but still dies to the poison that was racked up on him. That fadeaway Q from Cody.
Yeah, and oh wow, okay, so the W, the stun from the Renekton went on to Winsome, not Cody. I think they would have secured the kill otherwise. And oh, bye, TF, bye.
0-4 on the side lane. Gwen, TFBlade having a really rough time of it in this game number 2, the entirety of Conviction, but that's where you can really say, you know, the Estrol lead in game number 1 for a majority of the early game was maybe a normalcy. Now we're seeing some dominant play from them across the map. And Cody,
yeah,
gonna be running from a bear right now. They run really fast, by the way, like 30 miles an hour.
Yeah, apparently. Oh.
Okay, they're going to find a little bit of combo on the stun. They actually don't land any of the CC, and the Cosmic Radiant's going to come back down. They focus down on the Cody. Some of this fighting going their way. They finally found the target. The snake is it, but Ghost comes in too. They don't have the damage. The Buster Shot finally helps get the kill, but it's a triple kill for Ghost. They make it a quadra kill for the world champion of Estrol.
Hey, but they shut down Cody, right? But they cost them everything, and it was the 4v5 they simply weren't ready for. Giving Estrol the Otacon and giving them the keys to really run ahead of this game. We're looking at 7,000 gold just about ahead, and these aren't fall-off champions. This is Cassiopeia. This is Kai'Sa. It's going to be almost impossible to come back from this position as Conviction.
I mean, this was dastardly from Ghost.
Yeah.
Coming in, so much damage down. The fact that Cody survived for so long just speaks to the tankiness of this AP build for this Cassiopeia.
Yeah, I mean, it's that Bruiser AP build. Now the Rylai's has been built as well, so it's going to be easier for
coming true here.
I think so. I didn't want to say it, but I think you're right, Mazel.
It's always the duality of trying not to be biased that we want more games. Maybe not biased towards the team, but just getting all 5
more games. Yeah.
But hey, speak about it. We get back into it. So we hit the rift back at it. About a minute away for another dragon. Got to remember, Estrol put a stop to the stacking that Conviction were having for that one. So they continue to do so as Conviction are focusing on top side right now.
Yeah, that's right, because you really have to play away from the bulk of Estral and Conviction. Whatever play they want to make, you just got to let it happen and hope you can scrape something together elsewhere. Of course, the objective bounties are up. There is an angle for them to maybe try and collect those. You can see the kind of setup here for Conviction, but they can't play apart for too long. Oh, God, because the grubs are there for Estral too, and they're knocking down these turrets very quickly.
And the worst part about a play like that is Ghost could have gone on the other side of the turret with a killer instinct. So you just always have to be careful for Cody Sun on how he uses these rocket jumps. Because if he goes too far back, Ghost will absolutely take advantage of it now on 3 items completed. As the siege has come for the base of Conviction, and we're quickly seeing their defenses deteriorate as we do see that inhib in mid lane go down. The bot lane turret didn't fall, but the dragon is up. And we'll see Estral move over.
Yeah, and that only saving grace is it was a good call to keep TFBlade in the top side to just, try and get those trades. He got 1 turret. It looks like he's going to be able to get the tier 2 unencumbered as well. So that's a good amount of gold, especially factoring in the objective bounties. Of course, it's like throwing a spritz of water onto a wildfire, but it is something.
At least it helps a little bit. The firefighters will say thank you.
Yeah, they'll appreciate it, but you're going to need a little more water to be able to put out this flame.
But this is when you know that things are going badly. Viper is just getting solo boloed by Ghost. Not everybody can say they've gotten soloed by the world champ, but now Viper can add that to his repertoire.
He sure can, because boy, did he get whooped. Ghost is going to be able to walk away with that one at a nice 8-0-6. I will say those are some fat bounties available. If Conviction are able to capitalize, that could be, a more reasonable amount of water for this fire. But otherwise, I don't think Estrol will give them too many opportunities.
But can we talk a little bit about the difference from Estrol from that game number 1 to game number 2? Some of the plays definitely a little bit disconnected. I think their comp did them more of a disservice, getting farther behind. Right, they still had some scaling going for themselves, but I wouldn't say it was necessarily a comp differential or a comp benefit for them. But in this one, it feels like they've had full control for a majority of the game and aren't letting that go one bit.
No, and I mean, this draft really lends itself well to this game state too, because they also keep scaling. So it is a good draft for them. And Conviction really don't have many options. You can already see how hard it is for Cody Sun to do any meaningful damage to the Scion until he gets that Lord Dom. But unfortunately,
bye-bye, Cody Sun.
Oh my God.
He is gone. 370 gold going to SolidSnake, and TFBlade will eventually go down as well. I think this game is getting a little bit further out in front of Conviction than they maybe had wanted. And Stunt barely making it away from Cody in the mid lane.
Yep.
Look at Perry, he's laughing.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably watching this Cassiopeia like, oh my God, this champ is Thanos. And this is more of what I want to be seeing going forward from Estral too. I don't want to see any more Galio. Put Cody on the carry.
Yep, I agree. Let's see, can Perry do it? He's not going to be spotted out. He wants to get in the pit. He could go for it. Oh, he's way too late.
He's so dead.
Unfortunately, he's been spotted out now. Ghost just going for him, man. When an ADC can step up to any top lane, to any jungler, to any mid lane, that's when you know things are not going your way. Ghost goes legendary in game number 2 of this best of 5.
Oh, you see the teleport. They're trying to do something onto Cody at this point. Yeah, it's all about desperation plays and what you can get from them, but of course, with where that play was, Estrol are not far behind, so they have to bail out.
And I think we're just seeing the beginning of the end here, as the siege is still there. About a little bit longer on this Baron buff for them as they take down this top side turret. They're going to take the inhib as well and push for the end here, Beat. Nope, they're going to back out.
I think they really could push for the end. I'm kind of surprised. You're up like 9,000 gold. Do it, but sure.
You gotta make it hurt, bro. You gotta make it hurt.
You gotta really let them sit in it.
This is the streamer team from NA.
Yeah, it's about the content.
Honestly, positive content for Estral too. About 4 items in for Ghost, and when we first started researching on this team, we're like, what could have gone so catastrophically wrong for them not to be the split champions, for them not to be the ones in the first seed place, the ones that now have to fight their way through this kind of mini play-in? And we realized that a lot of it had come from some discoordinated play, some really, not on the same page teamwork that we were seeing from Estral. But today, it definitely feels like they have maybe found some of the solutions to their problems.
They have. We didn't see as much of it in game one, but it's seeming like they are here to play, and they'll certainly be able to close this one out. And goodbye, Viper.
Bye-bye. What started with a 4-1 Renekton ends up 5-5, and the final push is coming in now from Ghost and Co. 9,000 gold up. The final Nexus towers will go down. We get the cinematic shot of the end too, as they're going to try to come out, redeploy one final time, but it will just be them getting eviscerated. Estral find their promise, find their confidence, and find their will to win. Tied up 1-1 in this best of 5.
And what a win it was too. Again, really, it was pretty interesting to see Conviction try and pull out that Renekton mid in the end, but it was a great adaptation there to pull out that Cassiopeia from Estrol. Again, it really was just kind of, it was really the Thanos pick in the end, because, yeah, they were able to put it behind a little bit early, but I think even without that triple kill he was able to get, unless you keep that pressure on really high the whole game, a champion will eventually get to a point where she's monstrous.
And you gotta start asking questions about what, evolved in this situation might do, if the mid lane would have been kind of a mage pick there instead of the double top laners, and figuring out now what Viper can do moving forward, because game 1 looked really rough on the rise. Game 2 started looking good, but you don't have that same scaling potential as, say, the Cassiopeia does out of the mid lane. And that is going to be the big kicking point for me moving forward, is Cody on the other side for Estral. Is he going to keep taking advantage of this? And if he does, what's the answer?
I don't know. It's going to have to be something cheeky in draft, so we'll see what Conviction are going to be able to do with their side selection going into that next game.
Yeah, I think red side's going to be super important moving forward. We'll see, though, and break down game number 2 after this short